Welcome back. Last year, Oxygen Sports spotlighted the inaugural Women's Global GT Series. This series marked the first time in history that the world's most gifted women drivers competed head-to-head against each other. Cindi Lux won that series and benefited from the recognition when she was asked to join a team of 3 men in the Petit Le Mans. This 10-hour endurance race featuring some of auto racing's most well-known drivers exposed Cindi to a whole new level of competition. For her next Petit Le Mans race, she recruited Davina Galica and Belinda Endress from the Women's Global GT Series, assembling the first all-women's team to participate in an American Le Mans race. With limited experience, the odds were against them. Oxygen Sports was there to follow them every step of the way.
The first car to complete 1,000 miles around this 2.5-mile track will be crowned the victor. It's called the Petit Le Mans, but there's nothing small about it. For almost 10 hours, an international field of professional endurance drivers will battle for position, while new entries aim to show the world why they should be household names. Cindi Lux, Davina Galica, and Belinda Endress are all professional race car drivers, but they've never raced together as a team at this level of competition.
Oh no! I see. We're gonna start up and leave. All right, what's the easiest way? This way?
In just 3 days, Cindi Lux will be driving over 160 miles per hour, jockeying for position amongst a field of 40 cars, some doing upwards of 200 miles per hour.
The first time I sat in the car was this promotion we did at Marla, Georgia. And my biggest thing was just getting the car, figuring out how to start it, because there's so many bloody buttons in this thing.
All right, turn ignition off first.
This one?
No,
This one?
Yeah,
Ignition?
turn that one off first, and then just turn the power off. Push it in.
For the moment, her concerns are simple.
We're gonna do 2 laps, okay? Then they're gonna bring us in the far side and hold us and make us back in the stage, okay? So I may need your help so I don't look like a freaking idiot. Getting in the car, it was just overwhelming. I knew when I took those just 2 little, laps, it's like, man, let's just take this thing right now to the track, because we gotta get this started. So it's by far one of the coolest cars I've ever driven. It really is.
Cindi will be driving a 410 horsepower GT class Porsche 911 with a 6-cylinder Boxer engine. She drove a similar make in last year's Petit Le Mans, but her teammates aren't as familiar with the car.
So who else is on your team then?
I got Davina Galica,
Right.
and then Belinda Endress.
Okay. So you're the only all-female crew competing on Saturday?
That's what they say.
All right, okay.
Bunch of maniacs out there.
Can you handle the pressure? I mean, what is it like with these guys?
Well, I tell you one thing, it's going to be a lot easier driving with them versus against them. Because
Right.
you imagine driving against women all the time, and
Right.
it's just bad enough. But
Yeah.
it'll be a nice change.
Okay, all right. But a lot of smack talk usually?
Totally,
Otherwise, yeah.
totally.
Okay, all right. You give it right back to them, right?
Absolutely.
Every time? All right.
Yeah. There's always smack talk. How you doing?
Before the Petit Le Mans, fans are given the chance to meet some of the drivers and get a closer look at their cars. It is also the first opportunity for Davina Galica to get behind the wheel of the car she will drive in the race.
Yeah, it could be difficult to get in. The funny thing is with this car is we've had so little time in it. So let's just run through the starting procedure then.
Okay.
I can honestly say there's a whole lot of things on the dashboard that I don't even know what I do with them. And there's a whole lot of scenarios that might happen that I won't know what to do with.
Joining Cindi and Davina on the track will be Belinda Endress. Of all 3 drivers, she has the least amount of seat time in a Porsche.
It's just like a cockpit. I mean, if you talk to a pilot, same thing. You just got to know where everything's at.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, gives you.
And what's this?
That is the windshield washer. This gives you oil pressure,
There's
water
no water
temperature.
in it.
Nah, it's probably empty right now.
Being the only all-women's race team comes with the added pressure of the media spotlight. Cindi heads off to a local radio show.
It's supposed to be on air at 7. It's now 6:25. Hopefully we're going to make it there. But if not, actually we should probably turn on the radio station where we're going and get a feel for the wacky guys.
Atlanta sports leader, Sports Talk 790 The Zone. It's Dodge Speed Zone. Mike Bell along with Mike Laws. In just a moment, we're going to talk with Cindi Lux, and Hans Stuck is here as well. First, we're going to bang out some phone calls. Travis in a car. Travis, you're on Speed Zone.
I look at it as 3 drivers, not necessarily 3 women drivers, as much as, even though I know it probably is an issue. As long as we drive on the same racetrack, again, doesn't matter, pavement, dirt, whatever it may be. You know, as long as we all do it the same, I don't care.
Cindi, we talked in the commercial break about all the different tracks that this series has gone to. What's your favorite track so far to drive on?
Probably the one I went on. Actually, no, probably Sears Point, actually. It's tough because I think a lot of times there's probably a little bit more eyes on us to see, you know, can the chicks do it?
See you. Great to see you.
Hey, well, it's nice seeing you, man.
See you next year. I mean,
hey, well, come on. If you guys do come out Saturday, swing on by and say hi.
See, well, we got the VIP.
Come by.
So we got the
come on, say hi and check us out. Okay. All right, buddy. Thank you. Yeah, we're all female, but big deal. All 3 of us are race car drivers. We're trying to move up, so let us just do our gig and let us just go out there and race.
Cole Scroggum is the owner and manager of Team G&W Motorsports.
The only thing you guys need to do is listen to me. I'm not going to lead you astray. Be calm.
In a predominantly male sport, his reputation rests on the performance of an all-women's team.
Very impressive for the first time in a car. See, nobody looked silly. Everything worked well.
Nobody looks silly. Well, that's a good thing. We don't like to look silly.
Yeah.
We get laughed at enough, okay?
I'll tell you what. Been in a lot of situations. The first day was the embarrassing day. You know, it's just like you're walking away going,
Why?
I can't believe we did that.
Yeah.
He is ultimately responsible for the safety of the drivers in a race where a split second can spell disaster.
It's a high probability there will be an incident during the race that will touch number 81 just because of the speed differential of the cars. Hopefully it will be minor, nothing major that will send them off course.
You all set to go? All right, let's go. Course is green. Have fun. Look forward.
When Cindi and I first thought of this race, I looked upon it as a place where we could show that a women's team can be competitive.
One of the biggest about Davina is her experience. She's got more experience here than half the people in the Women's Global GT Series combined.
Just go easy. I kept making too high up here. Just remember that third is forward.
Experience is vital in this event. This is Belinda Endress's first endurance race, and the pressure is on.
I was a little concerned at first about her coming on board so late, you know, but she was just so thrilled to be a part of this thing.
She gave me a call and said that one of the other drivers had to pull out because she couldn't get a medical release. As far as a career move, what an opportunity.
I want you to go right on past us, just like before. We're going to nose in this time. Just park outside the tent.
Copy.
Morning practice was the first time each of the drivers took the 81 car out on the track. The shifts were short, but with limited time, any experience is helpful.
It was a good session. First time out, just kind of going out there, just doing laps. We're not really trying to go fast yet, so we'll be okay. It's, all today is just a learning day. It's all it is.
The difference between you guys, this is on the start of this run coming up into turn 1 is...
To improve their performance, Cindi and Belinda enlist the help of Darren Law, driver of their sister 80 car.
You're slowing down sooner, you're slowing down more for turn 1, you're not accelerating.
At this level of racing, the performance of the car is constantly monitored. Taking a turn at the wrong speed can be the difference between winning and not even finishing.
You're slowing down way too much. Here's the difference in mile an hour. One's doing 70, one's doing 95.
While speed is a concern, it is not nearly as important as negotiating traffic. There will be 3 different classes of cars competing in the race: prototypes, GTS, and GT. The prototypes will be driving some 40 miles per hour faster than the women's GT class car.
I think the biggest trouble they'll probably have is dealing with the traffic and the prototypes coming up on them. There's not a lot of mercy there, and the cars come up on you real quick, and you have to make pretty much a quick decision on whether to give up your line or let them go, you know, so that's probably the toughest thing.
Okay, you're on pit lane speed limiter on. Loosen your belts. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ignition off. Go!
Teamwork is also crucial in an endurance race. Cindi, Davina, and Belinda are used to driving sprint races by themselves. In the Petit Le Mans, they will have to change drivers.
Okay, that wasn't our best effort, but we learned a couple things.
Driver changes need to take 30 seconds in order for a team to be competitive. Right now, it takes the women a minute and 20 seconds.
All right, cars on pit lane, pit speed limiter on. Loosen your belts. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ignition off. Go!
If you lose 10, 20 seconds in a driver change, you know, that could be up to 10 to 20 laps of trying to gain up 1 second per lap, and that's an eternity out there, and that's hard on the car.
Our first problem. Keep going, stay with it.
It doesn't matter how fast I'm going or Cindi goes on the track. If we buckle in that driver slowly, we've lost a lap. And that lap's going to be the difference between winning or losing.
Get her helmet.
Oh, shit.
I didn't think
I screwed up.
I would prefer we stop right now, think about it, and practice some more tomorrow.
To wrap up the first day of practice, Cole has a meeting with all of his drivers to discuss any concerns.
Something I've already seen, and you're going to get from the computer data as soon as you start bringing it up, is almost everybody here is too hard on the brake pedal. Try to bring them along slowly and let them see what the problems and mistakes are going to be, and then we'll go home and sleep on it, come back the next day and have some ideas about how to solve them, and they're going to do fine.
One day before the race, Cindi's husband arrives on site.
You're on the racetrack, you're working with the engineer of the car, you're doing tracking the driver changes, you're doing this thing, that thing. There's a lot of things, and there's very little time to yourself in this environment. And sometimes I feel very bad that I can't give my time to my family or my husband. That, believe me, it's those are the first people that are behind the scenes that are there supporting you.
Clear track behind you. Completely clear track.
On the final practice day, Cole pushes his drivers to execute consistent lap times of 1 minute and 30 seconds.
Came down very nicely. Now it's time to see if we can put together a little speed. Be soft on the brake. Try to let the car come to you a little bit. Okie dokie.
In order to achieve this goal, the drivers must know every inch of the 2.5-mile track.
Copy that. Let's fit this lap and check it out.
Road Atlanta is a challenging 13-turn course with constant changes in speed and elevation.
Turn 1 is very, very fast. Right-hand corner, that's a climbing turn. It's probably the most critical corner on the course. That leads you up into the turn 2 and 3 complex, which is at the top of the hill. They'll ride over the curbing. It's kind of exciting to watch because they'll get air in the right side of the car. When they touch the curbing, they'll bounce across it.
Downshift down to third gear, turn it in back to the right and get hard on the gas going through the S's. The S's are very much of a rhythm part of the course, and again, those are the part of the course that separates some from others.
Which leads on to the slowest turn on the course, which is turn 7, which is kind of like a hairpin. And that's one of the most important turns on the racetrack because it enters onto the longest straight.
The Petit Le Mans is a 1,000-mile race that can last up to 10 hours, so teams must also consider night driving. The backstretch out of 7 is a well-lit portion of the track.
I use the light at that point to upshift, so you upshift second, third, third to fourth, fourth to fifth, fifth to sixth, halfway along the straight. Glance down to all the fluid levels and the dash.
And then what I think is the most exciting part of the track, you shoot under the bridge, come into view, and the whole world disappears. You can't see, you don't know where you're going. It's a constant arc of a turn and very fast. And it leads into another constant sweeping turn right under the flag stand. A lot of cars get demolished there. It's a place of concern.
The final practice day is going well as the women continue to better their lap times.
Yeah, I'm going to turn over here.
But Cole remains concerned about how the women will handle traffic.
Something else to remember, they've got a much more maneuverable piece of equipment than you do. This is pretty fun, but this is also pretty serious.
Just to let you know, I'm not as accustomed possibly as you are to a lot of the other cars that are out there. I mean, I'm used to being around a lot of traffic. That doesn't bother me at all. But I'm just not familiar with this bunch and what they're going to do.
They're bad.
You know?
They're really bad. I'll just tell you straight of it. Especially the prototype guys.
Okay.
They are overly aggressive, and they're not caring a whit about a GT car. The only reason they don't just knock you off the track every time they come by is they don't want to hurt their car. That's the only reason.
Belinda has the least experience in heavy traffic.
In no way does it intimidate me. If anything, it excites me. It's awesome to watch. It just adds a different element to racing entirely when you're being passed like that. You got to stay out of their way and, you know, make it as safe as possible. So on, it's like a high-speed ballet.
Belinda's amazing. For a person that's never even sat in this car, let alone driven anything like this before, and she's turned some great competitive times.
I think she's done an incredibly good job, considering she's a total novice. The first day we got in the car, she was a bit slower than Cindi and I, and I think it got her, you know, we're all competitive, and she didn't like to see she was slower, and now she's going as fast as both of us, so that's simply wonderful.
Yeah, she may make a mistake, I may make a mistake, and Davina may make a mistake. You know what? But that's how we're going to learn, because we're not in this as individuals. This is a team thing.
In order of what you need to be doing. When the door's open, unhook the radio. It's your responsibility. She's going to hook your radio back up for you. When you're sitting in the seat, we're going to try to get you in the seat somewhere around 10, 11, 12 seconds, 15 seconds max. You'll be in the seat. Now, we're going to practice several times, but that's the general routine.
In what will be the final driver change practice, Cole recreates a full pit stop.
Okay, you're on pit lane speed limiter on. Loosen your belts. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ignition off. Go.
It will take 30 seconds to refuel the tank, during which the drivers will change places.
Go.
After fueling, the crew is permitted to work on the car, including tire changes, fluids, and repairs.
Wasting time, Harry.
The ideal time for a complete pit stop is 1 minute. The women have improved their change time significantly, but it will take a flawless effort by the entire team to stay near the 1 minute mark.
That was a minute 13. You guys got done in about 34, give or take.
How are you? What's your name? Max. You like car racing?
Yes.
All right.
All right, who can I make this out to?
Curtis.
Well, Curtis, you got them all? To you?
The women spend some time with their fans before the final order of the day.
We'll be watching for the 81 Porsche. Good luck. Be safe.
They must now apply everything they've learned so far in the absence of the sun. Stress levels have been high the past couple of days. The race begins tomorrow, and Cole does not want his drivers to be tense.
All right, catch your breath for a minute and think about what you're going to do here, okay? Forget about the driver change. You're driving a car now.
He uses night drive practice to loosen them up a bit.
Just let me know. Are you having fun? Those guys out there aren't like getting passed by girls.
As the night winds down, a cloud of smoke rises from pit lane and serves as a reminder of just how serious this all is.
Just this lap. Party's over.
concerns are an accident with a faster car. That's probably number one concern. As far as expectations go, I'd like to see the car in a top 5 position, and I think that's a realistic expectation.
A bad result is what we call a DNF, which is a did not finish, which is basically either the car's been damaged or whatever, we just could not finish the race. That is not going to be a good thing if that happens.
When I first looked at it, I thought, look, here's a great place that we can show what women can do and finish in the first 5 in an international race. Since I've driven the car, I've realized how darn difficult that's going to be.
Wouldn't it be awesome if we got a podium finish? That would be incredible. We would like to finish at least in the top 5. And it's doable. With this car and this team, it's definitely doable.
We've got to just mind our P's and Q's and just do the best job we can out there. But for us to finish, maybe come in the top 10, would be awesome. It really would. And give Cole back his car in one piece. I promise Cole will do that.
The sun rises over the trees and dries the dew from the surface of Road Atlanta. Nervous anticipation fills the air as thousands of spectators begin filing into the venue.
Fresh chicken fingers, not frozen. Look at them.
While Davina and Belinda take care of their early morning routines, the crew gets to work on the 81 car. Cindi is already on site.
It's a nice way to start the day, go out in a race car like that. Yeah, we just had to bed in some new brakes. Just get the tires ready to rock and roll, so. We're ready to go. Let's jam, let's do it.
Did you stay really calm till before you got in the car? And then he exploded.
Cole gathers his crew to finalize assignments and offer some last-minute advice.
Stay calm, keep the cars on course, do it right, do our deal. Do it right. Measure twice, cut once. That's right. Red suits in the middle on one knee. All the yellow people in behind. Want the drivers up here with each car. Drivers at an angle.
Look right here, ladies.
It's about an hour before the most important race of these women's lives.
It's a question of getting things clean and ready and last-minute details attended to, getting the pits all set up. Just business as usual. I hope the girls will be tense.
Cindi spends her final moments before the race with her family.
I love you, but I know, but just stand. I'm not gonna hurt you. This is a sex shot for the.
Y'all work pretty good, and that seems to hang on a couple weeks after you get back.
Can you see that?
Davina's with her dog.
So if anything goes wrong, it's mop driving.
And Belinda takes some time to herself. In the tradition of Le Mans, cars are draped with their national flags. The lead driver is then buckled in for the pace lap, and the race begins.
Pace car, 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Roll pace car.
The first car to complete 1,000 miles of this 2.5-mile track will win the Petit Le Mans. The race is finally underway. The first order of business is to confirm two-way communication.
You're a little crackly, but not too bad at all. Boy, I hear you very loud, very clear.
Rotator cuff, front, right here. Right here.
Back in the trailer,
Right here.
Belinda prepares for her stint. Her shoulder has been bothering her from the constant rigor of shifting gears.
Yeah, it must be my supraspinatus, whatever that is.
Out on the road, the drivers have their own problems. An unexpected visitor has made its way onto the track. Cindi misses the deer by a few seconds, but others come within inches. Fortunately, the deer escapes unharmed.
Great job there, Cindi. Super.
Cindi seems to be settling in.
Viper, Audi, 2 Corvettes. Be a busy lap this lap behind you.
But the traffic suddenly gets too congested. She's been sideswiped by a Panos prototype. She's off the track, but still running.
Are you moving again? I'm now running. Pretty good smash. I got shit flying off driver's right. 10-4. We'll go out and check.
Cole sends his crew out to get a view of the damage and determine if the car can continue.
How bad's the damage? Minimal. One fender flare. Happens to be stuck to the front of one of the Vipers right now.
The crew is comfortable that Cindi can make it to the next scheduled pit stop. For now, Cole uses Darren Law, driver of the Sister 80 car, as his eyes.
The rear of Cindy's car, but it just looks like minor body work. Copy that. Thank you.
Darren's report confirms that the damage is minor. Moments later, Cindi has more news.
Cover flopping around, passenger side on the floor. We will get it out at the stop. Less than 30 minutes to go.
At these speeds, any loose debris will bounce around the cockpit and can be extremely dangerous. For now, Cindi must concentrate on what will be the first driver change. Davina is ready to get into the car, and the crew is ready to repair any damage.
Flash traffic and a blue prototype, Davina. Settle down, watch your downshift, get into a good rhythm.
Shortly after Davina begins her shift, there's a full course caution as the number 9 car has spun off into the gravel. Davina uses the time to get settled.
Switch to position 3 on the dash, please, ma'am. But I don't know how to do that. You have to walk me through it.
Despite all that's happened so far, the team is running 8th in their class. Cindi is in the trailer, stretching out after a tense ride.
Just got nailed in the butt by one of the red Panos prototypes going into turn 7. Just nailed me right in the right rear bumper and spun me around. And then another GT car had nowhere to go and nailed me in the same spot. So, unfortunate, but luckily it was only cosmetic.
Belinda is up next.
Belinda, the stupid glove box cover came off and kept flopping around inside the car.
Oh, really?
I'm like, God, please don't just come over and get stuck under my gas pedal.
An average shift will last about an hour and 15 minutes.
I don't know.
The next driver up can only sit and wait.
There's somebody supposed to come tell me, I guess, when there's like 5 laps or 10 laps to go. But I don't know if that's going to be like in 15 minutes or if that's going to be in a half hour. So now I'm starting to get revved up. All right, sweetie.
Job over.
For Belinda Endress, this is the moment she's been waiting for. A chance to drive in a world-class endurance race.
Bring her back to me.
I will.
I'll be ready to go. Good luck. 2 laps. That's all it is, laps.
Open the pit. Pits are open.
Racing is a lot like warfare, and you can't panic in those panicable situations. You just don't do it. It's not an option.
Pits are open. You will pit this lap. A radio check when you can, Belinda. Radio check. Go, start, go.
We were always dodging traffic. Initially, I was was rushing things, and I was quite glad for that first yellow, which got me settled. And then I got into more of a rhythm. There's so much traffic, and they seem to all come at once, and then there's a lull, and then they all come at once again. So it's quite tricky.
Belinda's been churning out consistent lap times, but halfway through her shift, Cole hears a distress signal over the radio.
Could not copy. Are you on the track?
Belinda is worried about smoke she is seeing in the cockpit.
I am on the track. I just noticed when I go around the third side, I'm getting a little kind of smoke coming up through the cockpit on the passenger side. You copy?
Copy that. Probably the fender on that tire that was damaged.
Had an awful lot of smoke in, was nearly choking me in turn 5. I couldn't figure it out. It was coming from the right brake. First I thought it was oil because it smelled like oil, but I think it was that chunk of gunk that they just pulled out of the wheel.
The tire's rubbing on that fender. You can get it out of there. Make a stop. Okay. She ran Davina went a whole session, so I don't think it's a problem.
Despite the smoke, the 81 car is still a respectable 8th in their class and 22nd overall. The crew settles in for the long haul.
Attention everyone on Sports Car Net. Dinner is served. Dinner is served.
Endurance racing requires complete mental focus, even when physical exhaustion sets in. Belinda is tiring from a long stint, and Cindi is called in to take over. Caution laps kept Belinda in the car longer than expected.
She says hour and 40 minutes. That seemed like a long time to me, but
Because I noticed when I asked you, I was starting to get offline, and I want to know what's going on in there. So.
Want to know when you start getting cuckoo?
Yeah.
All right.
With 3 hours left in the race, fatigue becomes a factor.
Got a number on that front loop?
Cindi witnesses a near collision and alerts Cole.
Got a car number for me yet? No, not yet. Working on it. Where did he go? I don't see him anymore. Oh, he's in front now.
Cole finds an official and reports the number 12 Viper for erratic driving. Moments later,
Double yellow, it's sitting somewhere. I don't know where. 12 drivers left. Go now, go now. That was car 12. Turn 12 Viper is upside down in turn 12. And call on your part, warned them.
a long shift has left Belinda dehydrated and exhausted.
98.8. So good. Your temperature's great, too. Right on the money.
Actually, I just want to lay down and go to sleep.
The team held their own throughout the day and must now push on into the night.
Night driving is insane. No, it's great. I love it. There's a whole new element of challenge involved. It's dark. You got blinding lights coming up behind you. Driving at night is a little bit different than driving in the day.
With a half hour to go in the race, Cole makes a critical decision. The team is 6th in their class and only a quarter lap out of 5th. Cole decides to put his best driver in to try and gain a spot. Their current position would be a tremendous accomplishment, and Cole is taking a risk with the driver change. Any delays could be costly.
Out there, Cindi, be careful.
The change went off without a hitch, and Cindi makes her move.
Oh my God! Oh no!
Cindi is doing some of the best driving of her life, and is creeping up on the 5th spot.
Timing 391 left, complete, 3 left, go.
But there may not be enough time.
We're on the last lap. We are working the last lap. Did a pretty good job for a girl. Not done yet.
Just finishing a Le Mans race is an achievement. Cindi crosses the finish line in 6th place, proving that these women can compete with the world's most elite endurance drivers.
Isn't that beautiful? Hey. You got a little spot right here.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, Davina.
Well done.
Hey!
Good job, buddy.
Good job. Awesome.
Good job.
Awesome. Great drive. I knew we were going to finish if we had a good car that was going to last, because all 3 of us know how to keep the car together and not abuse it, you know? But we did good. Cheese. Oh, man. Oh, man. You're the Michelin man.
Even though the 81 car didn't get a podium finish, their extraordinary effort is recognized by all.
The 81 car, driven by the Women's Global GT Series, basically.
In the midst of the celebration, Cindi gets a visit from the man who almost ended her race.
Sorry.
David? No, don't worry about it.
Sorry about the big tire in the door.
That's racing.
Fantastic. Very happy for her. Very proud. She was absolutely incredible.
Fantastic job. Couldn't have been any better. We're real proud of her.
The best I've ever seen. She drove awesome.
Love you. Awesome, incredible. There's not one word that can describe the whole thing. All it really does is kind of give you a taste of what is out there.
Don't you dare to, God, you know, you are, God.
That's where we gotta be next year.
Yeah. Sights and sounds of victory suggest visions of the future. For now, Cindi, Davina, and Belinda enjoy the moment.
Well, you guys ever think we'd finish in the top 5 if we did?
It's pretty awesome. I didn't think we'd finish.
Oh, come on.
No, I didn't. I didn't bring my lucky 13. I didn't.
Yeah,
think we'd
but it's
finish.
a flashy problem.
6 in their class, and few expected them even to finish. These women put on an awesome display of driving, maintaining their focus under immense pressure. But this is just the beginning for Cindi, Davina, and Belinda. Hopefully, the exposure they've received will attract much-needed sponsors and allow them to compete in future races. Today, we've seen 2 very different sports, but both the Petit Le Mans and the Avon Running National 10K Championship featured elite athletes competing at their highest level. For more on running, auto racing, or any other sport, go to oxygensports.com. Thanks for joining us.